Hello, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are in the world. I'm Ruth Carter, the Liberty Coach, and I'm here with another Parenting Live for you. Today, we have a wonderful, fabulous guest by the name of Yvonne Michele. She is the Global Empowerment Movement Academy CEO and founder. She is also an empowered coach. She works with women and girls, and I want you to give her a warm welcome as I bring her on. Evening, Yvonne. How are you?
Good evening. I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. I'm good, thanks. It's lovely to have you on. I did
Thank you.
write a short blog today, I would say, about you because I know I will be having you back on in the future. But as we have been in uncertain times for quite a while. And I have been very impressed with how you've just been empowering people on a day-to-day basis with things like your morning inspiration show, where it's brought a lot of attention in terms of how people have been feeling, how I've noticed people have been moving forward. So I want to congratulate you on that. But that's not all you do. There's so much more that you do. So introduce yourself to our listeners, our viewers, and our blog readers.
Okay, well, first of all, let me say thank you for having me today. It's really, really an honour to be here on your platform. My name is Yvonne Michele. I am the founder of the Global Empowerment Movement and the Global Empowerment Academy for Women. It is a hub, it is a home, it is a fortress for women to come and take off their capes, their superhero capes, their womanly capes, and really just sit back, relax, and be we inspire each other, we give to each other, we help each other. So whether you want to start a business, whether you have a side hustle or not, this is a place for you to come and grow. So that is the Global Empowerment Movement and Academy. I also am the founder of After Dark. After Dark started 6 months ago as a result of the lockdown, and it was targeting single people who were alone, who didn't have relationships. And I was wondering how are they going to work, how are they going to get through this and keep their mental health intact. And so I started talking and created a show, and subsequently from that show, I have also now started an online store of adult novelty toys and lingerie. So that was just the effect of the lockdown, about having relationships with yourself.
Yeah, so that is what I wanted us to touch on today because, we talk quite often. Yvonne is very close and dear to me. She's one of my family networks. I have mentioned over the weeks about who are your networks, who do you go to. Yvonne is definitely one of those people in my life. My children have stayed over, she's looked after them. She's done lots and lots of things on a personal level, but also on a professional level. There's lots of things that we've engaged in and done. But I wanted to, really look into the relationship with ourselves, how we communicate with ourselves, because you're empowering people every day. So I'd like to give some of the parents some tips on what are the things that they should be doing into correcting their inner mind chatter.
Okay, so what I always start with on a morning inspiration is we have many different mantras throughout the week, but one of the things that I teach is that everything starts with me, and that is to every individual. So that's every person taking responsibility, and that's 100% responsibility for themselves, how they think, how they act, how they behave. We must all take 100% responsibility. What happens is, as people, we start to look outside of ourselves and start pointing the finger and blaming. It's this person's fault. This person made me feel this way. This person did this to me. But what we teach in the Global Empowerment Movement is that everything starts with me. So everything that goes on around me, I have to take responsibility, and that responsibility is 100% responsibility, which is not easy to do, but it is achievable. And once you start taking responsibility for yourself, then you begin to empower yourself. But without that, you will never be empowered. Without taking 100% responsibility for yourself, you will never be empowered, because you will always put your power in someone else's hands. And this is one of the fundamental things that we need today, especially in this time, is for us to take full responsibility, no matter what it looks like, for ourselves, how we think, how we behave, and how we treat others. We must take 100% responsibility.
Great. Thank you for sharing that starting point with us, because, you know, we need to encourage ourselves, not just some of the times, but most of the times. That's what I say. Not every day is going to be the most fantastic day of your life, but I do believe that encouraging yourself and saying good, positive things is a good way to do for daily repetitions. What do you think about that?
Absolutely. I mean, the thing is, when we are living in this life, there is negative mind chatter that I call them the meanies, the neenies. They come in and they start chatting, and it's your own voice telling you things that you're not good enough, you're not pretty enough, you're not educated enough. All these things that you would look at yourself maybe in the mirror and look at yourself less than who you are. And so affirmations is a really good way to start. Like you say, have that conversation. My affirmations, I always tell people or instruct people to use the mirror. Those people who know me and know me well, and some people don't like me for this, but the mirror work is powerful. It's a powerful tool where you engage with yourself in front of the mirror and you start confessing things, the truth about yourself, that you are worthy, that you are educated, that you do know what you're doing, and that you can do, or you can be, or achieve exceedingly abundantly above all you could ask or think. These are the things that we have to kind of, once we take the responsibility, start declaring and decreeing over ourselves, over our lives. And then we begin to shift. We will feel our whole physiology, if you don't know what that is, the way that you feel, the way that you hold yourself, the way that you balance yourself, your physiology will begin to change. And it might be a slow journey, but it's better that it's slow and effective than not at all. So if you start looking at yourself, start saying, you know, I am worthy, I am great, I am amazing. You know, these kinds of things. Look at yourself in the mirror and start making these declarations, because at the end of the day, it is the truth. It is the truth.
I'm using it now for like new learnings. So like my mantra has changed over time. When you start like the journey of personal development, you grow, you increase, you change with time. One of the things that I'm like embarking on is speaking a different language. So for the last 5 years, I've been learning Italian, but I've been using a new mantra saying that it is easy to learn. It is fun to learn. I learn new things and learn new languages quite easily. So I say this to myself over and over again. And then yesterday, I thought, let me try Spanish. And what was funny was, as I was processing it, I'm saying the word in English, I'm saying in Italian, and because I'm learning a new language, I'm saying it's like this is the Spanish word, but it's like I'm packing it away and storing it in my mind, like logical. So there's the English, there's the Italian, and there's the Spanish. So it's like I've already started to open up myself to new learnings, to new opportunities, creating space in my mind. And sometimes we do feel a bit cluttered. Like we've had job losses, you've got children return back to school, there's high anxieties. What would you say to those people going through that? What would you say should be their daily first stepping starts in this personal growth journey?
Okay, so the first thing is to identify what the issue is. And the issues that we are having now is all based around fear. And that's the bottom line. There's fear everywhere. We've been fed fear. It's in the news. It's on social media. Everywhere you look is fear, and it's to make you feel frightened. So when you're feeling frightened, then you have no control. Then you are uncertain, and uncertainty is one of the five main things that every human being needs. It's a basic need, certainty, right? And so in that respect, you have to then start, your first thought is, what will make me feel certain? So as you get out of your bed, today I am certain about whatever, what is that thing that you need to feel certain about. So the first mantra that you have, the first affirmation is, today I feel certain about. And you keep saying it until you embody it, you embrace it, until you feel it. I feel certain about. Because when you are uncertain, that's when the negative chatter comes. That's when anybody can come to you with anything. That's when fear comes in. And fear is always false evidence that appears to be real, which appears means it isn't really, and there is something else behind that. And so we have to get to the root of each issue. Now, some people may think, oh, well, that's long to actually process that through your mind. But actually, if you want to control how you think, feel, and act, it's a process that you need to do. And the more you do it, the quicker it becomes. And the quicker it becomes, the more you do it, it becomes a habit. And then you will do it without even thinking. So each morning, you know, at one stage through this pandemic, I was like, is this a dream? Every morning I was waking up thinking, is this a dream? Are we in a reality? And I had to stop myself, physically stop myself, talk to myself and say, no, 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 no. This is real. This is the reality. Where do I want to go? What's my end goal? What's my intention? What's my intention for the day? And so very early on, that's how I managed to say, right, okay, all my jobs have stopped. I worked in a school, that stopped. I sing, that stopped. I do hair, that stopped. Everything that I could do stopped. So income stopped. Everything that I knew to be my reality, my comfort, what I could do stopped. And so I had to make a decision. What can I do now? How can I take back control of my life when everything else is uncertain? And I knew that part of that would be getting online, getting in front of the camera and start talking. And that's exactly what I did. And from that, Morning Inspiration was birthed. From that, After Dark was birthed. From that, the Yvonne Michele show was, the Global Academy was already birthed, but it came into fruition after lockdown. So I want people to understand that if you are a parent, and we're talking to parents today, and you find yourself in a position where you've lost your job, all is not lost. You have a skill deep down inside of you. And all it takes is for you to speak to somebody, speak to Ruth, speak to me, speak to whoever, to draw that out of you and start to present it as something that can create an income. You can create an income from anything. People are creating income from making cheesecakes, baking cakes, drawings. I see it all over the social media. People are using their talents, their gifts, what they have in their hand, and creating something from it. And this is what I'm encouraging everybody to do. Think about what you've got. Think about, you might be great at admin, right? You might love typing letters and do all that kind of stuff as a parent, and you're at home and there's nothing coming in. Social media is there, use it. Go on social media, see the coaches out there, see people who are saying things, helping people. Email them, send them a message. Do you need my help? I offer this service. The worst that they can say is no, right? But it's a numbers game, and I want to encourage people to know this. Just because one person says no doesn't mean to say everyone will say no. 1 out of 10 will say yes. You just have to keep going until you get your first yes. That's all you have to do.
Well, I want to highlight a question because we've been talking, you know, about mantras, and you mentioned your way of doing it, like stepping in front of the mirror. Well, a question came up saying, what if you don't like looking at yourself in the mirror? What then?
Well, if you don't like looking at yourself in the mirror, then this is the best thing for you to do, because that tells me that you are disconnected with yourself. And yourself, and let me break that down, yourself, the person that holds you, that molds you, that talks to you, that you are with every single day, is the most important person in your life. It's not your partner, it's not your children, it's not your parents. You are yourself. You are the most important person in your life. And if you're saying that, what if you don't want to look in the mirror? What if you don't like looking in the mirror? Then this is why you should. This is exactly why you should, because there's a disconnect. There is a massive disconnect with you and yourself. So how are you ever going to progress? How are you ever going to move forward in your life? Your life will be in turmoil. And that's not what you want. You want to be in a position where you are in control of your life and you actually like yourself. Why wouldn't you like yourself? But I bet you any money you would expect somebody else to like you. And if you follow me in the morning, you know you get it straight, especially on a Tuesday. Tuesday's truth, you get it straight. This is how I am. This is not a time for rubbing people down. This is a time for us to stand up and say, right, what do I need to do? And let's do the work and get it done. We don't have time to muck about, especially if you're a parent. Because if you're a parent that feels like that, the chances are you're going to be reflecting that on your child. That's not fair. So I'm going to put the onus on you. Everything starts with you. It starts with you, and it starts with you today. So, it might be hard, but I say this all in love because I want you to get moving. I want you to change your life so that you can live the highest expression of who you really are at your core.
And the thing is, for this parent, they're not the only ones that felt like that. I remember in Coffee, Cake and Conversation, that was a mixture of professional women, parents, and, even in the industry. Myself, I was there, and some people did find and these are all grown adults, found the exercise with the mirror very, very challenging. And it did take a while for some people to get comfortable. Sometimes we can pass our mirror, but we're not looking in the mirror. So we're checking to make sure clothes look all right and stuff like that. But we don't spend the time looking at ourselves, like through our eyes, and seeing our whole being, even noticing our aura if we stand there long enough. To really take that time to just reflect and look back at ourselves, and even to thank yourself for the things that you've done, for what you've achieved, for where you are right now. Even thanking yourself how you've got through possibly this first wave of the COVID that they're talking on, and making preparations for what you will do come a second wave, should it be. So the mirror exercise for me has been very, very much a powerful tool. But I do think it takes the practice of getting used to for those who feel very uncomfortable. Wouldn't you say?
Yes, I absolutely agree with you. It does take time. It does. But I wanna put a question out to those who are listening. I want, or it might even be a statement. I want to think about what they value in themselves, because this is about value and how we value ourselves and how we value the self that we are. Because many of us have achieved great things. Even those people who think they haven't have achieved so many great things, have overcome so many obstacles, but we forget. But we remember those things that other people do. And we're very quick to give other people accolades before we even see ourselves. Now, as Ruth was saying, it is difficult to, look at ourselves in the mirror. It's a fact that after 7 seconds, we look away. That's a fact. 7 seconds, looking in the mirror, we automatically look away. And that's because we feel uncomfortable with what we see. But yet still, we would be able to stare at somebody else for a good 5 minutes and just look at them and admire them. So I want us to think about the value that we put on ourselves as parents, as people, and really begin to ask yourself, what is my value? And write it down. Actually, I think the first thing that should be said here is write this down. Who am I? And write down all of your attributes, all of the things that you do well, every single thing. And if you felt like it, you could split it down the middle, right? What you do well, what you don't do so well. That's what because you're going to look at the comparison. Write a list, go for it, and just keep writing and writing and writing and writing and writing until you're exhausted. Go for 30 things. When you get to 30, go to 70. When you get to 70, go to 120. Just keep writing the things that you do well every single day. Right? That's the first thing you do. The second thing to do is write down what you value out of all of that you've written, that you've done. What do you value out of all of that? Because once you start to look at things on a piece of paper, then you will start to actually see, oh, actually, I'm not that bad. Oh, yeah, I did that. That was really good. Oh, well, yeah, I forgot about that. Oh, and you'll start to remember who you are and the value that you have in your own life for yourself. Because very often we just dismiss. It's like we don't even exist. A lot of the time, everybody else exists, but we don't. But now is the time for us to stand and be accountable, look at ourselves in the mirror and start to value. Why am I saying this? Because if we don't, it will impact your mental health. It will. And so now, just these simple tools of asking yourself, who am I? And that's not what you do, it's who are you at your core? Who are you? Who am I? Ask yourself, who am I? And then go to, and what do I value? What do I value about me? What do I value? What are the things that are valuable about me? And if you are struggling, ask your friend, ask your sister, ask your neighbour, whoever who knows you, what would you say my core value was? Just to get you thinking, okay, she said this or he said that. Let me think about that and really ponder on it, and then go before the mirror and start talking your truth to yourself and say, I am. Whatever that person said, so the person you got a beautiful spirit. You go in front of the mirror. You might not even believe it, but you go in front of that mirror and you say, I have a beautiful spirit. I have a beautiful spirit. I have a beautiful spirit. And you keep saying it until you start to believe it. It's not going to be easy, but nothing worth having has ever come easy. Nothing.
Very, very true. Very true. And as simple as it may sound, very, very powerful. Very, very powerful and life-changing, those techniques that you have shared with us are. Because, we have probably used them, because I have. I certainly have. And I still do. Because it's really important. It's part of your grounding. It becomes who you are. You start to evolve into the person that you really truly want to be. Is always the better version of us. There's always the ways of getting better and better, and it comes through practice. I do believe that. So if you had the opportunity to look at the blog post today, Yvonne has put down one of her affirmations there. There is a link. All you need to do is click on the link. It says free affirmations on the blog post, and it will take you straight to the link with one of Yvonne's offerings. We thank you for that, Yvonne, because I've used that one and it's beautiful. It's very, very beautiful, especially like within the Gem Academy. You're not only empowering women and strengthening them up, you're setting them up to really create healthy, viable businesses. And I do want you to just mention a little bit about Gem, because there's a lot of people in there that are parents. In fact, a lot of women. Most of them are. Some may be and may not be, but it's something that you do. And I just want you to highlight that so people can know?
Okay, so GEM Academy, the Global Empowerment Movement Academy, and it's for women. I am looking at a men's arm of it, but this is about women, and it's about women who want to take control of their lives. They want to be within a network that supports them, that nurtures them, and that helps them to get to the next level. Now, some have been unemployed, some have been employed, some have been self-employed. But for everybody in there, for me, it's about how do we take our lives to the next level, and what does that look like? So you may not. Some of the women in the group are not business owners. They're not business owners, and it's not just for business owners. But what I do is encourage the women to look at what they have in their hand, and then create something from it. And so now all of the women in the group, there's some making body butters, there's some making candles, there's some doing t-shirts, there's some that are, some who are writing, there's some who are doing makeup. This is what the academy is about, and it's about strengthening the inner self to give to others and create a sustainable income should you want it. And that's what it's about, because at the end of the day, especially now, we have to find other ways of creating an income. You might be really good at sewing, you might be really good at gardening, so you might want to get out there and change your whole garden into something that's growing that you can sell. It might be flowers, it might be vegetables, it could be anything. And so what we do is we take what you have in your hand, and we say, right, how can we use this to produce something, not only to build your wealth, but to build your self-esteem as a woman, that you're able to provide for your family. Many of the women are single parents, so how do you make ends meet? And these are the tools that we use within the academy to help each other. I have my grandmother always said, one hand can't clap. We need each other to help each other. And so this is what the academy is. And the women help the other women. So it's not just me giving, it's about us. It's about us coming together and helping each other and growing and being an empowerment movement. So it's a movement of women moving in the same direction, empowering themselves so that they can empower others. And that's the bottom line of GEM Academy.
Oh, well, thank you so much, because now we are coming down to the end of the live. But before we go, Yvonne has yet another offering, and let me get it up for you so you know what you're in for. So we did have two winners. We had one on Facebook for the Blossom Tree. That was Elaine Montgomery, and Debbie James on Twitter for the last one. So this time round, we have another offering, which is Yvonne's book of affirmations. There is a competition for this, so I will share that with you right now. So get involved. If you want to be encouraged, if you want to read and empower yourself with words of wisdom, my advice is tune in and get in for this offer. So the quiz is, what music TV show was Yvonne Michele on? So we have three possible answers, and if you're listening now, you can chime in. It's A, The Voice, B, Britain's Got Talent, or C, The X Factor. Yvonne had kindly shared the information with us. It is in the blog post, so you're going to have to check that out for a chance to win the affirmations book. So, which one is it? A, The Voice, B, Britain's Got Talent, or C, The X Factor? If you want a chance to win, you're going to have to go to www.thelibertycoach.com in order to know which one. Or you might know her and then want to put yourself forward for it. So that's our offering today. Thank you so much, Yvonne, for being here and joining us this week. Next week, we are going to be talking with dads. So October's month is going to be talking with dads who are parents and doing either helping with youth work, working in schools, or coaches. So thank you for your time this week, Yvonne. We say goodbye to you for now.
Thank you
But
so
we
much
will
for having
see
me.
you again. I will invite you back because it's been, you know, we've only just touched the surface. Like, we've got history here. We've just touched the surface. There's some things that we would love to continue talking to you about, but we will do that another time. Thank you so much, my lovely.
Thank
God
you.
bless you. So, everyone, that is us for this week. We do wish you a wonderful weekend, and I hope you have something nice planned. Take care and God bless.